Welcome to the video. I'm Mike. This is Mike Steelfinder Reviews. As always, I'm super stoked about the product we're taking a look at. This is going to be the RitFit M1 Pro power cage. By no means is this going to be an entry-level power cage. In fact, I think this is going to be like a mid-step between a starter power cage and what you would actually find in a commercial gym. You guys, it's overall upgraded. We're going to talk about all that stuff, but currently sitting at over 250 reviews on Amazon with about 4.5 stars. So it's a pretty hard score to achieve, especially with so many reviews. That's exactly what we're going to do today. We're going to do a full in-depth review of this power cage. Does it really work? Is it worth it? We're going to find out right now. So if you've seen any of my other videos or review videos, I love to review anything that has to do with like home gym or fitness. I've done a couple power cage reviews in the past. So, I'm working on very limited space. I'm literally taking up the space of a 1-car garage. I did move recently, but it's still, same linear space here. The reason why I love this power cage so much is it only takes up about 22 square feet of space. So it's perfect if you're limited on that kind of aspect. I honestly had no idea what I was missing until I worked out with this power cage. I am in love. I'm gonna come out and say it right from the beginning. This is the best power cage I've ever used in my home gym. And yes, it is a little bit more expensive than the other starter power cages that I've had in the past, but the investment is absolutely worth it. And I still think it's budget friendly in comparison to what you're getting with all the attachments, the pieces, the Smith machine. We'll talk all about that in just a little bit, but really quick, this is not gonna be an installation video or how to set it up. But as always, I do wanna make a comment on how many pieces there are in this package. It does ship in 3 boxes, which is typical for these types of products. I did underestimate how long this was gonna take me to put together. The instructions, the instruction video on the product page actually does recommend that you use a partner. I never listened to that. I should have, and I highly recommend that if you have somebody to help you with this, absolutely utilize that because it's gonna help the entire process go by a lot faster. I think it took me, and I'm not even kidding, about 4 or 5 hours by myself putting this together. There are so many pieces. They're heavy, they're tall. So just having that partner there to help you hold the pieces while you're putting it all together is super helpful. One tip though is what I'll say is if you can see on the back here, on the foot pieces here, the 2 foot pieces, you're gonna wanna make sure that the 2 holes, which is where the cable crossover poles actually insert, are on the back end. I messed up and put that reversed. I didn't really even know what to look for until I got to step 3 or 4, which is when I discovered that I had put it on wrong. I had to take everything apart and then put it back together. That's a huge time waste right there. The 2 back poles that go vertically up, there's gonna be a little etched out symbol there that says up with an arrow pointing up. Make sure that that is actually facing the wall or the back of the machine. The instructions weren't so clear on that, but that's one thing I can help point out to hopefully make your installation a lot smoother. One thing that I absolutely love is that it includes a ratchet wrench for you. Every other power cage that I've ever used uses really large nuts. I know that that's funny to say. This one actually includes a ratchet for you, so that way you can install it so much faster. I still hadn't invested in the correct size, so I was always using the hand wrenches that are included. They're still included with this one. RitFit knows what they're doing. You spend a little bit extra. It's clearly visible in the design and the functionality of this, even down to the installation by including that ratchet wrench. Huge shout out to RitFit. Now let's go ahead and talk about the quality of this power cage. It is made with 2x2 commercial grade steel. It is rated to hold over 1,800 pounds, which is much more than anybody would ever need in their training, especially if you're working out at home. It also has the 1-inch diameter holes all throughout the entire thing. It really doesn't make a difference with this power cage because it literally includes every single attachment you would ever need or want. Starting off with the basics, it's gonna have your J-hooks. It's gonna have your dip bars on there so you can work your triceps. It's also gonna have these bars right here in case you don't wanna use the attached Smith machine on it, which like what more could you ever ask for? You can actually use just a regular barbell setup in the front of the cage in case you wanted to do just like your regular bench press. Not to mention, you guys, and my favorite part about this entire power cage is gonna be the cable crossover system. The pulley system is upgraded overall, all around. Every single wheel in the pulley system and the ball bearings is gonna be made of upgraded aluminum, so it just provides a much smoother workout and experience while you're using it. Not to mention that each of the cable pulley weight systems are gonna be separated to help you isolate each arm individually or whatever muscle group that you're working on with the pulley system. My previous power cage was, unlike this one, it was a combined weight plate system. It wasn't helping to isolate each arm individually, whereas this one has them separated for you so that way you can individually put put the weights on each arm. Already just with that was a seller for me. Not to mention, of course, and the biggest perk about this power cage is gonna be the Smith attachment, which was super easy, by the way, to install with a separate manual and separate pieces to put together. Pretty easy though, once you have the power cage up, that's like 2 extra steps. I really wish I would have known about this power cage before I started on my home gym, because I would have skipped the other 2 and just went with this one straight away. Honestly, I prefer strength training, I prefer bench, I prefer cable. This does it all. Like, what doesn't this do? You know what I mean? Some of the other attachments it comes with, besides your typical J hooks and dip bars, are gonna be these upgraded. I mean, if you can just take a look at the steel that's included with these, this is gonna be like your steel alloy attachments, handhelds. You can knock somebody out with this if you really wanted to. The handles for the cable crossover system is gonna have your aluminum alloy, steel, whatever this is on the ends. You don't realize how much of an upgrade or how much of a difference these upgrades make until you actually use the products with the better systems. Hands down, I recommend it. If you have a little bit extra cash and you're looking to get a quality piece of equipment, go with this one. It speaks for itself. There's so many different exercises you can do with this power cage. Just starting off with the Smith attachment right there, you can do your incline, your flat, your decline, bench press with the Smith. It has 11 selectable heights, but something I do want to point out is how smooth it is when you're actually using it. Also, if you look down here, you're gonna see the spring spotters, so you can adjust those too. Likewise, if you're doing squats, or personally, my favorite thing to use this for is gonna be your hip thrusts. There's nothing worse than trying to balance your barbell. You're going to the left, you're going to the right. Basically, this is gonna help you stabilize and just focus and isolate on your glutes. For me, it's a 10 out of 10 just for that alone. Storage is not an issue with this power cage. They really thought of everything. So RitFit actually designed the lower back bar here with about 12 1-inch diameter holes. That's where you're gonna store all your J hooks, your dip bars, your spotter arms that are included. It just looks really nice, especially with the aesthetic of the gym. If you look up right below the RitFit plate here, you're gonna see 4 hooks. That's where you're gonna store your handheld attachments. Also, if you look at the very back here, there's gonna be a little plate on the very top. This is gonna have 4 separate hangers in case you have tension arms or if you have a weight belt like me. That's where you can store that as well. Taking a look at the bottom here, you're gonna find a landmine, 360 landmine that is also very smooth. And while we're speaking on the landmine, it also does include this T-bar here, so that way you can work on your lats. And it does also include this lat pull down attachment here, so you can convert this cable pulley. If you look on this side, there's also gonna be a foot plate here, so that way you can turn this side of the cage into a lat pull down with the included attachment, or even a row machine with this attachment right here. On either side here, you're gonna see 2 of these in case you like to work out with tension. You can use some tension bands on there as well. If you go to the very back of the cage here, it is gonna have 6 separate pegs, so that way you can actually store your weight plates. Love to see the versatility. As you know, weight plate stands by themselves are 50 to 150 bucks, depending on the quality that you go with. This is included, so you don't even need to worry about that. Now, I also did snag up a couple of their weight plates here. As you can see, they're color-coded depending on their weight. I did only go with like their 140 set. So separate product. There's a couple different bundles, so sometimes these will be included. Otherwise, like me, I did get them separately, but I did want to show you guys just the overall quality of this brand is outstanding. They are color-coded depending on their weights. These are not filled with sand as far as I can tell. They just seem to be rubber-coated. Super good quality. They are also going to be the 2-inch diameter Olympic plates. Not to mention the overall aesthetic of the gym is just super upgraded with those colored weight plates. I'm actually excited to get more of them. Just for comparison, I've been using these plates for the last 10, 15 years, to be honest. They're super rusty. I mean, they do the job, right? These are gonna be more affordable. Absolutely love the new weight plates. And not just because of the color coding and like how good they look, but because they're also gonna be rubber protected. One more thing about the cable crossover system is that they are numbered as well. They are etched out of the actual metal. They are not just like labeled. The numbers are facing inward, which makes a lot more sense in comparison to cages I've used in the past where the number's on the outside. If I'm setting up for my set, I wanna see what number I'm at instead of having to go all the way around. So it just kind of makes more sense. These pulleys, whenever you are setting them up, super easy to adjust. Even if you have a full weight load on the actual pulley system, they're smooth as butter in order to adjust to whatever height that you want to. 10 out of 10 when it comes to the cable crossover system, really when it comes to all of it. When installing the cable system, super easy. There is no need to remove any of the wheels in order to feed the cable through. Whereas my previous power cage, actually you had to install the cable first and then attach the wheel, which was absolutely redundant. Now, just for reference, I'm about 6'1", and with the cable crossover system, even doing kickbacks, lat pull downs, cable flies, or cable presses, I'm 6'1", and literally there's plenty of room. I'm able to execute a full extension of my legs, my arms, or whatever muscle group that I'm working out on without actually hitting hitting the top of the cage. My previous cages did have that issue, so I would have to adjust slightly depending on whatever exercise I was doing because there wasn't enough room for the actual plates to go. I was hitting the roof of it. That makes sense. This one does not have that issue whatsoever. I actually, in fact, barely even go halfway up, even doing a full kickback execution. So you guys, they've thought of everything, especially for the price of this cage. I would classify this as like a higher budget, but still within that budget territory of home gym equipment. So there you have it, you guys. That was the RitFit M1 Pro power cage with the Smith attachment. So if you guys are looking for a quality piece of equipment to add to your home gym, or maybe if you're even just starting out, I know this is going to be on the higher end of that budget, but absolutely go with this one. You'll be very happy that you did. As far as price is concerned, I think it's an incredible price, again, for all those features that we just talked about. Right now, it's sitting on Amazon. If you want just the power cage with the Smith attachment, I believe it's around $10.89. Prices change all the time, but guys, you're not going to find the quality of this power cage for that price pretty much anywhere else. Now, you can always upgrade that package if you want to have some of the upgraded handhelds and some of the weight plates on there as well. Those are going to range, but you can check all that out down below. If you found value in this video, please give it a like or a heart or whatever's at the bottom of it on Amazon. If you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to smash that subscribe button, like this video so you never miss another review. I'll catch you in the next one.